that played a role in this landmark achievement. Now, for more on this win for local governments, Community Engagement Director Code Kingsley Agu joins me on the news at 1. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, I mean, people have really been celebrating this this particular judgment, saying it is a welcome development. But I wanted to ask you, because this is something that you are familiar with in terms of, development at the grassroots. Will this judgment really guarantee transparency and accountability at that level?
So the truth is that there's no guarantee anywhere, if we want to be factual. There's no guarantee anywhere, but it is an opportunity to be able to strengthen transparency and accountability at the local government level, because the pressure has been much on the federal government and a little on the state level. But now this is an opportunity to also have the local government set up their own accountability mechanisms, structures to ensure that the funds are being utilized effectively. So there's no guarantee anywhere that it's going to be utilized effectively, because in fact, for people like myself, in fact, we're more worried looking at the fact that most of the local governments that are elected, those that are elected, are largely, if you look at them, they're largely people from the same party, from the governors. In fact, if you look at the 774 local government, only about, I think, 474 local government have elected officials there. And if you look at it, that's like 58%. And of these 58%, a large chunk of them are from the same party. And if you're having that issue of not utilizing the funds effectively across the state level, you might end up having the same issue even at the local government. So the time is ripe. It's now for those structures, those systems to be set in place. And everybody has to come together to be able to make the local government system work well.
And that's an interesting angle of the conversation, because a lot of people are also saying, look, without political autonomy, which is what you just talked about, that you cannot have full financial autonomy, because we've seen governors, we've seen local government chairmen, going to beg governors because one person made a revelation about the governor that didn't seem quite, that seemed quite offensive to the governor. And so there's now a call for that political autonomy, that look, the INEC should begin to conduct elections at local government level. What do you make of that?
I do not really subscribe to that in its entirety, because if you look at the elections even conducted by INEC, how credible is it? That's the big question we need to ask ourselves. It's about strengthening systems, not just at the federal level, but also looking at the subnational level. And this comes from also the process of even appointing the State Independent Electoral Commission chairman. Just they were clamoring for independence of the INEC chairman, even from the process of his or him or appointment, or whoever it is that's in that position. We also need to start clamoring for that transparent process that is independent of the executive governor of the state, for the State Electoral Commission. So imagine INEC conducting elections for 774 local government. That would be a whole lot. Not just that, I hope we also remember that it is not just the local government that will benefit from this, not just the local government chairman, but also the councillors, because the councillors serves as lawmakers of the local government. So imagine INEC conducting elections for 774 local government, and in an average local government in Nigeria has 10 wards. So that is 7,740 polling locations where elections will be held. If you look at that, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. And if you the calendars are not even equal, they're not similar across border. You say, okay, they can just do a blanket election for all the local government at a time. But some are 3 years, some are 4 years, and what have you. So it's going to be a whole lot of work for INEC to do. Looking at the fact that the work that they have already to do, it's a lot of work for them already. So rather, let us strengthen the local government systems. How can we make the State Independent Electoral Commission to be more effective? Because if you remove that position from the State Independent Electoral Commission, for example, that means they should scrap all the State Independent Electoral Commission. That's what, because they don't have any job to do anymore. So I do totally subscribe to having INEC conduct election at the local government, but rather can we strengthen the independence of the State Independent Electoral Commission so that they can be able to carry out credible elections. And also, in doing this, we also need to have that synergy between INEC bringing in technology into the elections, while the State Independent Electoral Commission is still doing analog elections. So there has to be synergy.
There has to be synergy, training, and collaboration between both states and the federal. We'll see how things play out, especially how residents of these local governments also react to this development. Thank you so much for your time. Community Engagement Director, Cold Kingsley Agu.
Thank you for having me.